Chapter 9 The Fix. The morning after chapter, I woke, my body screaming for a fix I couldn't get from sleep. Daphne, she was the drug, and I was in deep withdrawal. I'd become intimately familiar with this feeling. Sleep, true sleep, was a relief I rarely experienced anymore. I sat on the porch nursing a black coffee, watching the quad. In a few hours it would be teeming with life, but for now, in the pre-dawn stillness, it was a blank canvas. The other brothers were still out cold, lost in drunken slumbers or nursing epic hangovers. Good. I needed the solitude to think, to fight the craving, but my mind was a junkie's, offering only one solution. Another scalding sip of coffee. Today, I'd see her, at her studio. See her work, her sanctuary, the place where she shed the carefully constructed armor and became real. The anticipation was a physical ache. I thought back to last night's chapter meeting. Zeph hadn't shown up. His absence for his suspension had sent ripples of unease through the ranks. Manageable ripples, of course, but his continued absence, that was a loose end. A creeping unease wormed its way into my gut, but I forced it down. I retreated back to my room, the one place where the meticulously crafted facade of the golden boy, the unflappable fraternity president, could crumble. My room was a study in stark minimalism, a deliberate rebellion against the ostentatious wealth of the house. A bed, a desk cluttered with textbooks and lacrosse gear, a dresser, the outward trappings of a life that felt more and more pearl. Something was missing. I stripped off my damp shirt, the fabric clinging unpleasantly, and tossed it aside. My reflection in the mirror, tanned, muscular, the image of privilege and confidence. But my eyes, they betrayed the carefully constructed image, restless, hungry, haunted. I turned to the window, staring out at the empty quad, but seeing only her, Daphne. The memory of her struggling with that wheelbarrow, her muscles straining, the sheen of sweat on her skin, ignited a fire in my gut, her laughter, genuine and unrestrained, echoing in my ears. The look in her eyes, a volatile mix of desire and defiance, a challenge I wouldn't refuse. And then the woods, the storm raging around us, mirroring the tempest inside us. The raw, almost violent hunger of our kiss, the taste of her skin, the feel of her body yielding beneath mine, the way she'd shattered in my arms. My body responded instantly, a surge of blood, a painful tightening in my jeans. A groan escaped my lips, a primal sound of frustration and insatiable need. The thought of a solitary release, of finding satisfaction in my own hand, felt pathetically inadequate. It wasn't just the physical craving, it was her touch, her scent, the electric current that crickled between us. I sank onto the edge of the bed, hands clenched into fists. This obsession was unraveling me. The carefully cultivated detachment that had always been my armor was crumbling, leaving me exposed, vulnerable. Daphne was a virus infecting my thoughts, my blood, my very soul, and I was terrified. I closed my eyes, and her image filled my mind with a presence so real it was agonizing. Daphne, naked, vulnerable, her eyes dark pools of molten desire, her body arching, begging for my touch. Her name, Daphne, escaped my lips, a junkie's whispered curse, a prayer, a desperate plea. The images in my mind shifted, morphed, fueled by memory and unbridled fantasy. The taste of her skin, the intoxicating scent of her, the soft mewing sounds she made when we kissed. I lay there, trying to compose myself, the cold reality of my situation crashing down. This wasn't a game. This was something else, something terrifyingly profound, something potentially destructive. I had to regain control. I couldn't let this addiction consume me, couldn't let her see how desperately I needed my next fix. The gala. It was the perfect stage, a controlled environment, a carefully orchestrated performance where I would dictate the terms. I stood, a renewed sense of purpose hardening my resolve. I would win, I would have her, but on my terms. I caught my reflection again. My eyes were clear now, focused, the vulnerability masked by a cold, familiar determination. The golden boy was back. The alpha was in control. But deep down a tremor of doubt remained, a whisper of warning. You're playing with a fire far more dangerous than you realize, Reyes. You're going to get burned. I shoved the thought away, buried it deep, the alternative admitting that I was an addict, that the drug was winning, that I would do anything for a hit, that Daphne Reyes was my fix, was simply unacceptable. The game was on, and I intended to win, whatever the cost, even if it meant destroying us both.